In today's NBA, there's a lot of great point guards in the league. It's arguably the deepest position in terms of talent, and there's a lot of competition for a starting spot. There's some crazy talent on the list of starting point guards, and it's tough to tell which player is the best given that there are a variety of different types of point guards with specific strengths and weaknesses. Let's rank all 30 starting point guards in the NBA, and this list will be based on who is projected to start at the 1 for each team. Also, keep in mind when I made these rankings, I took into account each player's offense, defense, and ability to stay healthy or play games, as if a player needs a lot of load management games off, it's definitely going to hurt their ranking a bit. And very quickly before we get into it, if you want to see more interesting NBA content just like this, I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to this channel and my backup channel as I've said in my other videos. I have this channel in case anything happens to this one, and I'll leave a link to that down in the description below. So, let's get back into the video. At number 30, I have Isaiah Thomas of the Washington Wizards. I can't rank Thomas higher than this given the past few seasons he's had, as with the Cavs and the Lakers, he was one of the most inefficient players in the NBA with really bad defense, and with the Nuggets he wasn't even good enough to make the regular rotation. I think with a full offseason of training and being healthy, he'll have a bounce back year next season, but for now, just from what we've seen over the past 2 years, it isn't fair to put him much higher than the other players on this list as he hasn't looked like anything close to the player he was with the Celtics. At number 29, I have Terry Rozier of the Charlotte Hornets. He was very inefficient with the Celtics throughout his entire NBA career, as he has shot 38% from the field in regular season games. A small sample size from one playoff run isn't going to outweigh 272 career games, and he has a lot to prove after getting that huge contract with the Hornets. At number 28, I have DeLon Wright of the Dallas Mavericks. He's a solid player who I think is better suited as a combo guard off the bench in terms of talent, but he showed last season with the Grizzlies that he could put up some big numbers. He's a good combo guard who can do a little bit of everything, but I don't think he's a high level starting point guard. At number 27, I have Kobe White of the Chicago Bulls. He performed very well in the Summer League and looks to be a very good shooter and a solid passer as well. He seems to play more of a combo guard role as well, like DeLon Wright, as he isn't much of a passer, but he'll be the starting point guard for the Bulls next season. At number 26, I have Darius Garland of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He barely played last season for Vanderbilt, but I think he'll be a very good scorer and shooter in the NBA as long as he's healthy. He has a very quick release, and him and Sexton should give the Cavs a nice young backcourt for years to come. At number 25, I have Dennis Smith Jr. of the New York Knicks. He's still a poor 3-point shooter with waning defensive effort, and he's overall struggled so far in the NBA. He hasn't shown great playmaking after 2 seasons in the NBA, but I still think he has the potential to be a very good player in the league with more work on his shot, and also decreasing his turnovers. At number 24, I have DeJounte Murray of the San Antonio Spurs. This will be a very low ranking if Murray is back to 100% of his former self next season, but a lot of players aren't back to their same level of play right after an ACL tear. It may take a little bit of time for Murray to regain his rhythm, but I think he's an excellent two-way player and will be a very good starter for the Spurs in the future. At number 23, I have Reggie Jackson of the Detroit Pistons. He had somewhat of a bounce back season last year, but he's still a below average defender who struggles with shooting. He's a decent playmaker and should split time with Rose, who will likely come off the bench, and we'll see if D Rose will eventually take the starting spot. At number 22, I have DJ Augustin of the Orlando Magic. Some casual fans may think this is too high for a player they barely know, but Augustin was actually one of the most efficient point guards in the NBA last season. He shot 47% from the field, 42.1% from 3, and 86.6% shooting from the free throw line while securing a 3.31 assist to turnover ratio. He ran the Magic offense smoothly and was great as a floor spacer as well, and I expect him to have another solid season as a starter for a team looking to make the playoffs yet again. At number 21, I have Jeff Teague of the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's faced a lot of injuries lately, but when he plays, he is an excellent distributor. He's also a solid 3-point shooter as well, and we'll see if he can stay healthy for the majority of next season. At number 20, I have Patrick Beverley of the Los Angeles Clippers. He's one of the top perimeter defenders in the NBA, and he's also a great 3-point shooter. He should be a great fit next to Kawhi and PG, and he'll lock down opposing point guards with his smothering defense. At number 19, I have Justice Winslow for the Miami Heat. He played a lot at point guard last season when Dragic got hurt, and it's likely he'll start at the 1 next season with Dragic coming off the bench. Winslow is actually a very good passer and has improved his 3-point shot, and I could see him averaging around 15, 6, and 5 next season on above average shooting. With him starting at point guard, the Heat will have a big starting lineup that will have a lot of versatility on defense. At number 18, I have Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies. He was crazy good in college and was a great scorer at the rim with his athleticism, but he was also an amazing passer as well. He projects to be a player who can get about 20 points and 10 assists a night in the future, but I think for now, as most rookie point guards do, he'll face his fair share of struggles early on. At number 17, I have Ricky Rubio of the Phoenix Suns. He's pretty overrated in my opinion with his flashy passes, but I do think he's an overall solid starting point guard. His main problem is that he's a poor 3-point shooter, and this really hurt the Jazz in this year's playoffs. So basically the Rockets' defensive plan was to sag off Rubio and force him to shoot, and this allowed them to double team Mitchell because Rubio isn't a real perimeter threat. If he can't improve his shooting, he could become an above average point guard, but for now, he's about average while taking in his inefficiency with shooting. At number 16, I have Lonzo Ball of the New Orleans Pelicans. Being traded by the Los Angeles Lakers probably wasn't what Lonzo wanted, but I think it was what he needed. I think he needed a fresh start and he wasn't a good fit with LeBron James in my opinion. With the Pelicans, he'll get a chance to be the primary playmaker, and he'll have a lot of targets to rack up easy assists like lobs to Zion, kick out to Redick for the open 3, and other plays as well. I think Ball will play very well with the Pelicans, but he will need to improve his shooting if he wants to go up further on this list. At number 15, I have Malcolm Brogdon of the Indiana Pacers. He should have a big season with the Pacers as they'll see an increase in usage with Oladipo out to start the season. He was great for the Bucks in the playoffs, and we'll see if he can consistently run the point guard position for Indiana next season. I could see him averaging around 18 points and 6 assists per game next season, while also providing some solid defense on opposing perimeter players. At number 14, I have Eric Bledsoe of the Milwaukee Bucks. He looked great in the regular season, but he struggled a lot against the Raptors. He didn't play many minutes in the clutch due to his inconsistency and poor decision making, and he was actually benched at times for George Hill. Bledsoe needs to be smarter on both ends of the floor, and while he is a great defender, he does have lapses that caps his ceiling as an above average starting point guard. He's a very good player, but he could become a borderline all-star if he becomes more consistent. At number 13, I have Kyle Lowry of the Toronto Raptors. Without Kawhi Leonard, Lowry will be faced to take on a much bigger role next season. He's a very good shooter and one of the best playmakers in the game, and he'll have a very good season next year even if he declines slightly due to age. At number 12, I have Jamal Murray of the Denver Nuggets. He got a max extension this offseason, and we'll see if he takes a big step next season. He's a very good scorer and shooter, and I think he could break the 20 point per game mark next season. At number 11, I have Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks. After struggling to start the season, Young was amazing to finish the year. He showed incredible passing, which I think is his best skill, and he can also become a very good 3-point shooter in the future who can help space the floor with his deep range. His defense does need a lot of work, but Trae should put up some big numbers on offense next season. At number 10, I have De'Aaron Fox of the Sacramento Kings. He was excellent last season and was one of the best two-way point guards in the NBA. He broke out with his great passing and finishing at the rim, but what really improved was his shooting. He's a solid 3-point shooter, and being a threat from outside has helped open up driving lanes for him. I'm expecting a big season next year from Fox, and he should help carry the Kings into the playoff race. At number 9, I have Chris Paul of the Oklahoma City Thunder. He's just not the same player he once was. As last season, he missed a lot of games due to being hurt, and he just wasn't as quick as he used to be. He struggled to get by bigger players, and his overall game took a big hit. But he's still a great two-way player on both ends of the floor, and while he isn't a top 5 point guard anymore, he's still one of the best passers in the game who can score in a variety of ways as well. At number 8, I have Mike Conley of the Utah Jazz. Conley is still one of the most underrated players in the NBA, and he's an all-star caliber point guard who just hasn't made the team yet. He'll provide another playmaker in the backcourt to take pressure off of Mitchell, and he also provides great defense out at the perimeter. He should help the Jazz be true title contenders next season, and we'll see how far they'll get in the playoffs next year. At number 7, I have Ben Simmons of the Philadelphia 76ers. This one is really hard to place. Simmons can do it all on both ends of the floor, and he's a mismatch that is too big for opposing point guards to handle. However, he still can't shoot at all from 3. He hasn't made a single 3-pointer 2 seasons into his NBA career, and this is simply a huge problem. He hurts the Sixers spacing, and this clogs up driving lanes for him and his teammates. Once he does develop a legitimate jump shot, he will go up the rankings and help the Sixers offense a lot, but for now, I have him in the bottom portion of the top 10. At number 6, I have Kemba Walker of the Boston Celtics. Walker was incredible for the Hornets last season, as he was their top scorer who bailed Charlotte out when their offense was stagnant. Well, the Hornets offense was basically all Walker actually, but Walker will see a slightly smaller but easier role next season as a scorer and distributor for the Celtics next year. He'll see a decrease in usage playing next to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, but I think he'll be a great fit with the Celtics and he'll be key in helping the Celtics go far into the playoffs next season. At number 5, I have Russell Westbrook of the Houston Rockets. I put Westbrook up here because he has really good strengths, but huge weaknesses as well. He is still very athletic and can get to the rim and finish with ease, and he's also a very good passer as well. However, he's a horrible shooter that isn't a threat from outside, which makes him a questionable fit next to James Harden. He was really bad in the playoffs and he couldn't get anything going against a weak Blazers defense that didn't even have Nurkic protecting the rim. It's going to be interesting to see if Westbrook can improve his 3-point shooting, and if he can, he'll likely see a few bumps up this list. At number 4, I have Kyrie Irving of the Brooklyn Nets. Irving was great for the Celtics in the regular season, as he was scoring at a very efficient rate and stepped up his passing as well. However, it seemed like he just gave up in the playoffs and checked out, and now he's on the Nets. He should see a big role for the Nets with high usage, as Kevin Durant will likely be out for all of next season, and we'll see if he can keep up his high level of play in both the regular season and the playoffs as well. At number 3, I have Damian Lillard of the Portland Trail Blazers. You can make a legitimate argument for Lillard being the best point guard in the NBA last season, as he was incredible on offense with both scoring and passing. He also improved his defense and is now a slightly above average defender, and he helped the undermanned Blazers make it to the Western Conference Finals. He'll try to lead his team again to another deep playoff run, and we'll see how far they'll go in a very deep Western Conference. At number 2, I have Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors. He'll have an MVP season next year with the usage he'll have, with Kevin Durant gone and Klay Thompson out for the majority of next season. Curry will be asked to do most of the scoring and playmaking next to Russell, and he'll try to lead the Warriors back into the playoffs in an even more brutal Western Conference. Even as he's getting up there in age, I think he'll average over 30 points and 6 assists per game next season, and I think this should be one of the biggest seasons he'll ever have in his career. And at number 1, I have LeBron James for the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers have announced they'll likely start LeBron at point guard, and that's just a cheat code. He can do it all, and the pick and roll with him and Anthony Davis should be unstoppable. He'll also be playing next to great shooters like Danny Green, Avery Bradley, Troy Daniels, and others as well, and he should thrive in what is likely his first season being listed as a starting point guard. His size should also make him a mismatch against opposing point guards who will have trouble guarding him, as he's tall enough to simply shoot over most of them and strong enough to overpower them in the paint. LeBron can still also be a very good defender when he wants to, and he should help lead the Lakers to one of the top seeds in the Western Conference, and they are one of the top championship contenders as well. So that's a wrap. Thank you all for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video and want to see more daily NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and also be sure to turn on post notifications so you can stay updated on when my newest video will be coming out. Also follow me on Instagram and hit me up if you want to talk about basketball, business, or have any video ideas you may to do. Let me know, as I do try to back to all you guys there. Drop a comment down below on your list of the 30 starting point guards in the NBA. I'm definitely interested to see your guys' lists and thoughts, and I'll definitely try to get back to most of you guys there. So, with all that being said, once again, thank you all for watching, and hopefully, I will see you guys soon for the next video. Peace.